For the little baby, the rub, nigga, I gotta be safe.
Let's get to the sports talk.
Time in 31 games. First loss at home for Alabama in 31 games. Most points Alabama has given up in the Nick Saban era. So, JV, what do we do with Alabama?
We do what we would do with any other team that gave up 46 points at home. We would drop them, and for Alabama, unfortunately, it'd be out of the playoff, right? So there'd be, number 3, they started off, bring them down to a 5, 6, 7, somewhere around there, because, frankly, they weren't that good on defense. They just weren't. And when you watch them objectively, you saw missed tackles, you saw busted assignments, you saw gaps.
They played against a good offense. They ain't played none of these weak defenses they've been playing all these 8 games. They played a team that could go toe-to-toe with them and expose their defense. They got some stuff to fix in Alabama on defense. Like, you can get away with a lot of things when you play weaker opponents, but when you can play a team that actually can throw blows with you and score enough points to beat you and keep up with you, and your defense missing tackles, it shows you've been playing weak opponents up to this point. They had to be ready against this LSU team. This was a different type of team. It wasn't none of the weak teams they played before.
Holes in the defense, they just weren't that good.
What's the committee going to do?
I agree with everything you just said, and that's why I think come selection day, Alabama's on the outside looking in. But on Tuesday, when the committee releases its ranking, I can also see them only dropping Alabama to number 4. And I say that because Alabama's schedule hasn't changed. They still haven't beaten a ranked opponent. The committee told us last week, we like how they look. And they made a case. They almost won the game. I think that they can still make a case as the committee's best one-loss team.
But to that point, Heather, it's a moving target, right? It should switch week to week. So if they like how they looked last week and then they saw what happened this week, they can just as easily say, we don't like how they look anymore. They're not as good as we thought.
But you're right, and they might do
that way against what will probably be, in my opinion, and I don't know what you guys think, the number 1 ranked team come this week, LSU. Okay. One of the most prolific offenses in the country with a quarterback that is absolutely on fire. And it was a 5-point game. And I know we can argue about the last play, or the last touchdown Alabama had, right, and how that brought it close, but it happened. It happened. It wasn't a myth. It actually happened on the field, so we have to count it. So I agree with Heather. And you know what? When I watch football, and we've watched a lot of football, all of us, to me, although they had some struggles defensively yesterday and they were playing with a quarterback that had to limp off the field, they're still one of the best 4 teams in the country.
And you still got to treat them like every other team when they lose. I understand the track record Alabama have, but if they ain't beat a ranked opponent yet, you got to have an outside the playoff looking in. Because there's some teams in front of them now that beat ranked opponents. They had to be outside the playoff looking in just like everyone else that lose. After this, they schedule not that strong. So they could cruise to 11-1. Because they still a good team, but at the same time, their defense ain't look right. They played against a good offensive team, and their defense was exposed. Like, they had, I think, 100 yards rushing on the ground, too many missed tackles, and then their quarterback ain't looked healthy. After the game, he was limping. He can't really get outside the pocket like that. I feel like he rushed back. You better hope he don't have a setback. But it shows you, when you play the weak opponents and then you play a team that actually can go toe-to-toe with you, there's a lot of things that need to be fixed in Alabama.
my opinion.
And this is why I don't agree with that. The last statement, I do agree with you that they played one of the best offenses in the country, but there's a difference when you're playing the best. You're coming off a bye, first of all. There's a difference when you're playing the best offense in the country and they're just beating you with better throws. They're beating you with a perfect pass in tight coverage. Then there's the difference of we just don't line up properly, right? And you have guys running wide open down the middle of the field, and I equate that to the Big 12. When we watch Big 12 games and they're high-scoring games, there's all types of busts defensively and missed tackles.
But this was an anomaly.
Hold on. So then when we watch that, right, the first thing we talk about the Big 12 when we see a high-scoring game is what? Bad defense. So if we're going to just take away the SEC moniker and the Big 12 and we're just watching what happened yesterday objectively, it was bad defense.
Bad defense for one game, not consistently bad defense. And listen, I'm not
but it's supposed to take within a week. It's only a snapshot of each week, right?
We saw some things yesterday defensively that were so out of character for Alabama. You talk about
but it happened.
I agree. I'm not arguing with you on that point. I'm saying I still, as I watch them play football, I look at the skill that they have on offense, and I know that they're playing with a quarterback. You just look at his completion percentage, it tells you how affected he was by that ankle. They're still, in my opinion, okay, let me ask you this. If they were going to play Minnesota, who would you take?
It doesn't matter.
No, I'm asking you.
It doesn't matter
because I asked you.
Well, if I'm not in that respect, I'm not disrespecting you, but what I'm saying is that part doesn't matter because if you're asking about is Minnesota better than Alabama? No, right now, no. But that's not the question, and I'm not saying Minnesota should be in the top four.
Because of your conversation right here and your debate, you cannot unequivocally say Alabama's one of the four best teams. And that's why I think come selection day, they're going to be left out because people have to remember that they have protocol. The selection committee members have
Alabama just played a good offense. That's all. They look like the Big 12 out there. Both of them put up 40 points. Like LSU defense, it's okay. But they got a good enough offense to put up enough points to win games. And their defense hold Alabama off and let LSU win the game. Alabama still haven't been a ranked team. And I think Auburn is ranked. If they could beat Auburn, it probably could help their case. But they should be outside looking in. That's what happened. I'm saying that's what happened when you don't play a strong enough schedule, when you get ready to play a team that's just on the same level as you, things can happen. This was a different type of LSU team that had the same quarterback for last year that's transitioned to a top quarterback this year in the Heisman race. This could help him be the front runner for the Heisman. Because you'll be one of the best teams in college history. And that offense just got the job done against Alabama. Alabama got to be looking in and see if can they get one of those spots. They should drop just like every other team. And they do gonna have to fix some things on defense. And they got to make sure their quarterback is 100% going forward.
Protocol. And when everybody else is playing their conference championship game, Alabama's going to be sitting there.
Now, you're talking about this Tuesday?
No. I'm talking about December 8th. You two are illustrating, your debate is illustrating why it is not perfectly clear that Alabama's a top four team at the end of the day. And they're going to be committee members around the room having the exact same discussions you are. Alabama is not going to have that conference championship or strength of schedule.
Right, and their best win could possibly be against an Auburn team that at that point might be losing their fourth game of the year at that point. They gave up 46 points yesterday. That has to be accounted for.
Hey, thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more scores, highlights, and analysis, you can download